Wanted to have a little fun tonight with crypto in general. And let me just bring this across. There's some really good key data points. Now, let's see if the music is too loud. Just remove the music here. Do let me know if the music is too loud, guys. Look, we only have one job to do, and that one job is to simply DCA and hold our crypto. Now, more than the usual, in terms of the what's going on right now, let me see if I can just turn this down. It's too loud for you guys. Yeah, perfect. Now, so as far as crypto is concerned right now, I've looked at the top performing assets for the last 12 months, okay? And mostly we've not had a narrative. We've not had any consistent layer one narrative, of course, but something makes me hopeful. In doing some research today, I wanted to have fun. I wanted to do the crypto awards for 2025. Tonight will be the first of its kind, the layer one battle. Many people telling you that the bull market is over and we could see 74 below 70 again. Look, if you consistently buy and stay in the market, what's about to transpire in terms of liquidity is just really, really obvious, in my opinion. So let's talk about this. Key data, right? So what we have is the end of quantitative tightening. Now, typically what happens is there's a waiting period. We know this. And things come down. Now, cryptocurrencies, not all projects are made equally. So the stuff that is fundamentally building and the stuff that is really, really going to impact our portfolios in terms of the projects, we will definitely talk about those. But what do we know so far? What's happening? Where do we find ourselves? Before I continue, big up Peter as well. My brother's in the building. Big up Jenny. My sister's in the building. And big up to every single one of you in the family. So this is probably the least I've been in terms of stressed overall compared to what we've been through. Now, what do we know so far? So we do know that the Fed's ended the quantitative tightening, of course, and they went into an immediate panic, and that's what I call it, into stealth QE. And that is the significance. They are going to print money. Global M2 money supply is sitting at 123 trillion, which is at all-time high. Of course, BTC has dropped off from the M2, but the lag effect is normally 60 to 90 days. Bitcoin dominance is a key threat, but right now we are sitting, and Bitcoin dominance has been struggling around between 58 to 59%. I did post a chart that said it could bounce to about 61%, but even then, Bitcoin dominance has not been going. And then Altcoin Index is basically extreme fear, like extreme altcoin season. Now, what that tells me is, based on the M2 money supply, BTC should have a realistic projection next year of around 170,000. Appreciate that, Peter. Sorry, I'm not sure. I hope the music's not disturbing you guys. So based on that, in my opinion, I think it's reasonable to take the noise away and go back to this performance. So if we are going to rank cryptocurrencies based on their yearly performance, we are seeing projects that normally, things like, Pax Gold's been ripping. We are seeing Hyperliquid, but 12 months performance is 49%. Monero, 100%. But really, Zcash and AB are the standing or the outstanding candidates. Now, what we can do is, just for a bit of fun, we can look forward to 2026, not 2023, 2026, and we can actually look at some of these layer ones and how they basically how they perform. So we're going to have some fun tonight. I can't actually send out the poll that I wanted to send out, but this kind of works for me in the sense that we look at hype and we look at something that somebody said in the chat today, which is tokenomics, right? Because we know several projects are going to be unlocking quite heavily into 2026. Okay. And what that will do is it will kind of give us, and again, I encourage everyone to look through their portfolio and you know, write down key elements of your cryptos. Why are you in a particular project unless it's a low cap micro cap gem? Okay. So the first one we're going to look at is the fundamentally strong, in my opinion, a project that has pretty much all the makeup of you know, utility, narrative, hype, and this is TAO. Okay, so in terms of TAO, the hype is that eventually when retail realizes, the hype's going to be the actual AI, Bitcoin, and of course, it kind of goes for me to look at this and say it scores very high on tokenomics. It's on exchanges. Okay, the team in terms of the, you know, who's behind it, I mean, it's completely decentralized, right? But for me, where really it comes down to for Bitenso TAO is tokenomics, is definitely hype because it is going to, you know, run off the Bitcoin name. Now, what we can see is if we make it a little bit more fun to try and you know, see how we can do this. If we take the fact that, say, TAO, for example, has very good tokenomics. So what are we looking at? We're looking at 21 million coins, okay? Because what I want you guys to really do and understand, and again, you know, me talking to myself every day, planning my portfolio, planning the community's portfolio, I want you guys to actually get something unusual on these live streams because, you know, everybody does the same thing and we don't want to do that. We want to be different. We want to help people make real money. We understand money is going to be flooded into this space. So what's been halved? What is the unique selling point of TAO? So what you have is you have 7,000. So let's go 7,200 TAO, okay, coming into circulation every day, and that's going to be halved, right? So you are going to get a brand new emissions. I think it's works out to be something like 3,600 daily emissions. Now, over time, you are going to make money here. If you imagine buying TAO between, say, $300 to $200, whatever the price is, okay, what I would suggest is you buy, you know, between this range, you just DCA, right? And it does go for, you know, it does actually go for all our cryptocurrencies. But what eventually will happen is if you can accumulate, set yourself targets, you know, 10, 20, you know, 30. And I know it's expensive. Obviously, you could start with 5 or 1, whatever you can afford. But eventually what happens is if you can work your way to something like a 50 TAO over a period of time, okay? Multi-cycle coin, really going to be in a price. I think it's going to be in, you know, at least between $5,000, you know, $5,000 to about $10,000 at the very least, right? Maybe not this cycle, but ultimately TAO will be $50,000. So in my opinion, this goes in terms of 2026. I cannot think of a cryptocurrency that has all of the ticks that it requires in terms of potential hype, tokenomics. The hype is not there right now. So you have to understand the hype, because people don't understand TAO. People don't understand dynamic TAO. People don't understand how to get into the ecosystem. But what I would say is, don't let anyone cheat you out of this bag. And utility probably is its biggest strength, right? So I would say TAO would probably be falling into something that you can buy regardless of market conditions under, say, $500. Okay. So I'm going to give TAO a 8 out of 10, possibly 9. And I think it will make you good money over time. The next one is KASPA. Okay. So KASPA, in terms of narrative, it has a unique position to be the fastest proof of work cryptocurrency. And this is where retail hype really got KASPA going. KASPA has basically lived on retail hype. Now, the project does ultimately require, the main weakness for me is the tier 1. And this is where a big question mark for me rises, because of the fact that the community seem to think that they don't need a tier 1. And in my opinion, once KASPA hits Coinbase, and when KASPA hits Binance, I think it's going to be all over, in my opinion. So the other question mark that I have is the team, okay? And I put a question mark there because apart from Jonathan, okay, let's put a question mark with a dot there. Apart from Jonathan, you don't have, and again, the case was proven this week, because this week there was, it's a very good website that tracks KASPA. They needed funding. Of course, there's the KASPA Foundation, and one of the things that happened was there was a debate about how to get funding. Now, as far as I'm concerned, guys, the KASPA Foundation does allow for people to request funding, but this thing blew up over the internet. And it's precisely my point about having a good team. Again, it's different because KASPA is a fair launch project, but they do have money. However, what we need to see, and look, it's right here. I'm a developer. Where do I start? They have tons of money for not only for developers, but also for anybody who's looking to hype the project. In fact, if you go to the KASPA website, they clearly do state, KASPA, they're the ambassador program, where people around the world represent KASPA. And these include developers, merchants, educational institutions, investors. This is not a paid position. So when I talk about the team, I guess they're going to have to put something together there that is specifically focused on KASPA. Now, KASPA's tokenomics, again, if we go back, is one of the best. Okay, if you look at the supply dynamics here, right, you have maximum supply of 28 billion, total supply 27 billion, circulating supply, almost all of the tokens are out. Okay, so I would say in this battle of layer 1, crowning these in 2026, really this is like a year ahead in terms of where I see things heading into the future. Okay, so I would suggest that for me, KASPA does score very highly. What I would say is, based on that TAO benchmark, I would give KASPA a solid 7 out of 10, possibly 8. And again, what we need to see with KAS is really the only thing that is kind of stopping it are two things. One, I think we need an extra cohesion on the team to be able to market the project and get it listed. You know, I don't care what it costs, but you do need to list the project. The next one I have for you guys is SEI. Now, SEI's hype is absolutely incredible. In my opinion, they have produced some of the best integrations out there in the entire of the layer one kind of sort of low cap layer ones. They are really pushing the boundaries in what they deliver. So these guys deliver ready-made, ready to launch partnerships. And I have noticed that. And the latest one being, of course, there's the one with Xiaomi. And ultimately what they are is a really, really fast layer one blockchain. You guys understand, EVM compatible. And it's an institutional coin at this point, in my opinion. I think, you know, retail hype will come, but it's really, really designed for institutional use. Now, one of the things about SEI is, regardless of the developer activity in terms of the ecosystem, what I've noticed is that they have this really great team in packaging things and launching it fairly quickly. Of course, their main aim is to become what they say is the 5th generation blockchain. Now, if you look at this piece of graphic that they produced, and we talked about the logics here, or we talk about the logic. So what we have is generation 1, layer 1s. Then you have generation 2, like Cosmos. And so generation 1, BTC, Ethereum Classic, really good proof of work, early pioneering. Then you've got generation 2, 2014 to 2018, the likes of Cosmos and ETH. Then you've got these gen 3s, which are Solana, Algorand, Polkadot, and these were like 2018, 2021. And then this kind of cycle, we've seen Aptos, SUI, and we've seen the likes of Base. Of course, Base still hasn't got a token. It's a layer 2. But what we're seeing here is ultra fast, EVM compatible layer 1 blockchains. So what they say in here is Solana's new upgrade, okay, and SEI's Giga upgrade is basically 2025 plus. So it's a clear progression as far as they're concerned in terms of marketing this. Now, if we look at SEI, so we've looked at 2 excellent proof of work cryptocurrencies in KASPA and in TAO. What we're seeing here, guys, is tokenomics wise, 10 billion maximum supply, 6.37 billion are circulating. So in my opinion, the tokenomics here are not the worst, right? So tokenomics wise, I think this is not as bad as the others. Chart wise, market cap as well, below $1 billion. If the market does see further drawbacks, then we're looking at around $500 million valuation. But the chart has found its bottom, and I think these are the bottom prices. Would we see a dip below 12.5? If January is as rough as people say out, with the stock market losing about 10% of its value, then I think we will get one good last bite at this. $5, I mean $10. Who knows where it could go? So I think this one has, in terms of team, I think they've got an excellent team. In terms of tokenomics, I think tokenomics are not the worst. You will see they have the good exchanges. You could buy this everywhere. They are an institutional hype coin, as we said, with a very good team. And of course, They also have that utility narrative base. So if layer ones run, I think this could do very, very well. So far, we've got TAO with a score of 8. We've got KASPA, which is about 7 and 8. Probably 10 if KASPA goes into Binance or Coinbase. We have been accumulating KASPA for a very long time. And then you've got the narrative that hasn't happened. And the reason I can tell you that narrative's not run is during my research, if you look at the categories with the most gains, so all the awards for 2025 go to privacy, memes, and DeFi, right? Layer ones have not produced any significant gains. And I've gone through, hundreds of cryptos over here. But what you will see here is privacy, DeFi. Again, you can ignore that gaming one. Zibek. Zibek actually is an RWA / DPIN. So in terms of gains in the last 12 months, Zcash is probably the only fundamental. Asta, Zbek, MYX, skipping the meme coins, by the way. Onyx Coin, River. You've got exchange ones. You've got Monero. So you've got stuff like that has really, really performed, but you haven't had the layer one narrative take off at all. And this is key because I think this is going to shift in 2026. We will see layer ones. We'll still see, of course, some other narratives as well, but we will see layer ones. We will see AI. We will see, of course, continuation of the meme casino. The meme coins have hit their absolute, bottom in terms of the cycle now, in terms of hype, in terms of movement. But of course, they do pop up everywhere. And if you look at stuff like here, Maple Finance, Maple's a good one. Maple's a very good one because Maple Finance has one of the largest growing stable coins in crypto, right? So, you look out for stuff like that. But overall, if you see the strongest cryptocurrencies in terms of the narratives, layer ones have not taken off at all. Next one is Aptos. At this stage, I would probably give Aptos, yes, they're on big exchanges, but for me, APT has been very, very disappointing. They have a massive stable coins on it. I'm sure they will run, but so far, I don't think tokenomics are great. If you ask me, of course, tokenomics are a big factor at this point, but they've had a massive issue with inflation. Now, if we look at the APTs, again, it could be one of those trades, right? It is still above, so it's bigger than SEI. It has a massive trading volume. And if we look at this, 1.2 billion, but SEI's trading volume right now is only $34 million. Aptos' trading volume is $176 million. Okay. Now the tokenomics have improved. In fact, you can see here, it's gone a lot better. But a large part of this price action was due to unlocks just pulling it back, and it has further fallen from where it was supposed to go. It does have the same kind of, I have to admit, looking back at this now, it has actually improved. But look at the FDV here, 2 billion. Outstanding tokens, 1.8 billion. Fully diluted, 2 billion. So current market cap to the fully diluted, I mean, it's not the worst, but at the same time, that has been their story so far in 2025. A project that promised a lot, has a massive TVL of stable coins, but at this point, it's one of the losers so far. Having said that, if you do trade, if you are somebody who takes on a trade, then I think this one is probably worth keeping the eyes and ears locked in, because you can actually get a fast move above $3 at some point. If that happens, it would be a good trade. I normally trade Aptos long and short, but it's not going to be one of the ones that does crazy things this cycle, in my opinion. I could be wrong, but it does have one thing, and that is stable coins. However, I would say avoid this one if you can, unless you are trading. It is on many exchanges. And you know what? The team was solid with Mo, but after he left, I don't know who's in charge anymore. So yeah, it really does need like a proper hype to come in. Maybe announce one big US government or whatever partnership for stable coins. But keep an eye out for trade there. Next one is Arweave. Now, this is a cryptocurrency that has no hype. So as far as hype is concerned, it does absolutely, it's not the one. You know, Sam actually said himself, the founder here, is that they don't market it in the way that the other cryptocurrencies market themselves. What I would say with Aptos, it's a 100% reliant on narrative and utility. Okay. So where Aptos will move is if we get a deepen season that is ginormous, and I think it will come. In terms of the team, I think they have one of the best teams, one of the best founders. The only thing that they lack is the marketing aspect of it. But in terms of a team, I think this will deliver. In terms of tokenomics, I think this will deliver huge. Tokenomics here are frightening. They are almost fully diluted. And of course, they do compete with the likes of, I'd probably say ICP in terms of when you add AO to it. But they do compete with the likes of Filecoin. And I will pick Arweave over Filecoin at a $200 million market cap. Okay? These are the type of cryptocurrencies, in my opinion, and I think KASPA is in that category that will do a Zcash. All right? So volume, absolutely non-existent. This cryptocurrency used to have a $50 million daily volume. Okay? Now it's got an $11 million volume. But where you would be, if you're stacking this one, you just know that circulating supply, total supply, of course, max supply is also there, but this is going to get you a solid 20 to 30x, in my opinion, if not even more at these current levels. And what we're looking at right now is a price below $4. Historically, when has it been in these kind of ranges? Well, it's been here 2021, January, it's around $4. And then throughout the bear market, it came to bottom here at $11, then went to $8, right? So this is all 2023, $8. And then it came at the lowest point in the bear market. This was at a price of around $3.80. And then this cycle, we've got $3.94. We're back just under $4 now. All right. So I think when the narrative comes, this will make you crazy money. Now, one thing I've got to tell you when you're buying cryptocurrencies like this is you've got to be patient. You've got to be absolutely patient, because what will happen, in my opinion, is it will stay dormant. It's like a volcano, right? It will stay absolutely dormant for a very, very long time, considering that they don't really market this in the traditional sense. But what they do have is a utility that is absolutely used by big players. And they have a great founder and a decent team building away. So don't expect for this to obviously go absolutely ballistic tomorrow. I guess one of the reasons why people don't make money in this space is because ultimately they are impatient. if you buy, I don't know, if you buy 100 tokens this week and you buy another 50 for the week after, it doesn't matter. Build a nice bag of 1,000 Arweave because it makes the maths. 500 to 1,000 Arweave will set you up. 250 Arweave, get a nice number there and just ECA into it, because ultimately it is a utility that is going to be around for a very long time. Now, in my opinion, so when you look at 64 million out in circulation, you look at tokenomics like this, Arweave last cycle did, look at that, it went all the way up to, in some exchanges it did $100, but let's say $84, $90 here as an all-time high. Now, what you will see is, at the very least, we had a $50, $40 plus here, nearly $50, right, in a single utility run. So without being afraid of it, you can actually invest into something like this and at least get a 10x return from where the price is today. And I think you will for sure end up with very good amount of profits here, because it makes no sense for this not to go into narrative. Okay, now there are three pillars, in my opinion. Crypto is ending up with these three pillars, and that's after doing hours of research. I think it's going to be a triangle made of, it's going to be RWA, because everything has to be tokenized, right? Even these shadow banks, even they are tokenizing now, and the banks have been let loose. So RWA, I think AI, in terms of big AI, and I'm not talking about just the AI narrative, because this has this has agents, you've got AI agents here, you have payments, right? And then you have your your foundational AI layer here, which is the general purpose. And then the other one I think is going to be DeepIn. Okay, because DeepIn provides the computational power for AI. So you will have some kind of crypto utility here where this is the power behind, and AI is going to be a decentralized way. It's going to be nuts, in my opinion. And then, of course, RWA to govern that. And then in the middle, you will have your L1s, and then you will have narratives. So where the gaming narrative, where the blah, blah, blah. So the narratives will come under that. So that's how I see it. Let me just take this one out and this one out. Okay, Hyperliquid is super hype. Again, it's been a big winner in 2025 to the tune of a massive 50%. If you would have bought this a year ago, you'd have been up 50% on your money. But it is a cryptocurrency that has plenty of hype, utility. Of course, it's not something that I actively invest into it, but it has to be through the conversations, and of course, it's on exchanges. It has an excellent team. Again, some people got into it early. I'm not one of those people, but it seems to be a permanent narrative anyway. The price, when money comes back in, is just going to run. Now, Neo Protocol, in my opinion, will need a utility narrative, right? So Neo Protocol is one that I trade quite a lot, and I like the predictability. I trade it to a certain level, then I take a short, then I take a long. Doesn't matter, but I think it will have some kind of a pump. Now, some of you hold it, some of you don't. I think they have a Zcash originally been built. Some of the contracts are as a layer one. Now, what you will see here, it's a massive market cap. So I would put this in the competition with ICP and with TAO. TAO is by miles ahead of this, but it is fully diluted. and it has $100 million trading volume. Again, this is a concern here. Whenever you see that polygon sign, it means max supply is unlimited. Okay, but NEAR has had its fair share of troubles. However, I think it's starting to come out of that. So if you really wanted to trade NEAR, you can. I think it's a very good AI project that will pump. Again, the $2 billion valuation when crypto is so cheap right now. It's in terms of this battle here, I think it's just wait and see for a narrative. Okay. And of course, it's everywhere. It's on exchanges. It's everywhere. Zcash, everyone's favorite layer one, all of a sudden. Now, what I would say is when you look at the likes of TAO and KASPA, what I would probably expect is the the privacy narrative to kind of run into some kind of some kind of a headwind. Why? Purely because as privacy grows, uncertainty, especially when you look at things like election season, what is going on with this site? But what you have here is obviously a NEAR protocol contract for Zcash, proof of work, excellent tokenomics. It's been out for donkeys. And right now, it's just literally in hype. Trading volume tells you all you need to know. Now, what makes it unique compared to Monero, I suppose, is the fact that this you've got the options for institutions to either opt in or opt out of privacy features. So, look at this chart. This is what I'm saying. Do the research, build a conviction, and just hold it. The lesson here is, right, and there'll be people that hold KASPA today that get out. There'll be people that hold TAO that just get out or whatever. And if you held this, you had to be some kind of I don't know. Like, I don't know what to describe you if you held this. Like, your conviction would be absolutely insane. Because this does not tell me anything. I mean, this has been around. This is an OG cryptocurrency. You're looking back at a chart that goes to donkeys of years. So I guess what I'm telling you here, the main point is after your research, just go about your business. Don't stress about when something's going to pump, unless you bought something completely and utterly useless. I think crypto will absolutely explode. So this one here, the biggest danger for me is the narrative dropping off. It's purely driven by narrative. Next, we are going to go with Cristiano's coin. And this one has... So I have a cryptocurrency list that I call multi-cycle coins. And if this was 2024, this would absolutely be in all the way. But for me, let's have a look at SUI and why it has slowed down. This is what I would encourage everyone to actually not even look at SUI, look at the ecosystem right now. Because in terms of your ability to make big money here, is very low. Even if you believe it goes into 100 billion, you're still going to be taking a risk, right? So what we have here is fully diluted valuation of 16 billion, right? You have 5 billion market cap, 6 billion market cap here. And people tell me, yo, DXP, should I buy SUI? I hold a ton of SUI, but what I would say to you is take advantage of the ecosystem here. You want to get more SUI? You want to be a SUI millionaire? Then you need to look at the likes of Bluefin, Walrus, Lofi, Cetus, so many DeFi projects. You need to be able to do your research right there. I think this will do very, very well. But if you look at the likes of Navi, Cetus, Bluefin, Lofi, all of these cryptocurrencies, they're gaming. I think that's where you, sitting at this point today doing this live stream with you guys, I think that's where you're going to print your money. So when it comes to SUI, I'd say in terms of tokenomics, that's the, it doesn't score as well as others here. So tokenomics are not the greatest compared to the others, like KASPA, like TAO, even like SEI. But what I would say is it has one of the best undervalued ecosystems, will have plenty of hype. It's on plenty of exchanges. It has arguably Mr. Labs they know what they're doing. And of course, layer one narrative here will send it and make your bag even bigger. Next is Beam. Beam is 100% narrative driven. So if you're holding it, actually one of the great things about Beam is that you can buy Beam and of course you can sit on it because the gaming narrative is not here now. And I think we will go down to the wire to GTA 6, in my opinion, the way the cycle is shaping out. There's never been a better time. If it's like you're buying a shitcoin right now, because this is now $162 million. Trading volume for Beam, a shocking $3.5 million. That tells you everything you need to know. There's no liquidity in the markets. And I think this is a fantastic, fantastic trade. Of course, there has been adjustments to the tokenomics, right? So they will go with a max supply of 58 billion. They have actually burnt tons and tons of coins. Now, where I am in Abu Dhabi, Mr. Labs, of course, have a partnership here with the government. And I think they have an investment here and a treasury of around $200 million. Now, when gaming season comes, okay, so strong war chest, they call it a war chest. And I like that because it tells you at some point they have the money to be able to do whatever they want to do to this. Gaming right now, it's not sexy. I would buy Beam because of the fact that it is a layer one cryptocurrency that's totally narrative driven, meaning that it's going to give you GTA 20 comes out before. Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. And you don't have to buy shit. By the way, you don't have to be all in risk right now. You could actually DCA into some of these incredible projects with the crazy valuation. With the valuation dropping off like crazy. And this treasury here is what makes me really, really excited as and when gaming season comes. Of course, it's not 100x territory, but a 20x here is not beyond the realms of possibilities. And that's what you have right now. You've got, liquid crypto assets. They have cash, $30 million, for goodness sake. They're not going anywhere. But the fact that it's $160 million, and this is their portfolio, by the way, which is quite interesting. They invested a lot into Aether. You have a lot of investments here. Virtuals Protocol, they've put $5 million in. Bearer Chain, they're an investor. It's cool. Toncoin, they've got SUI. They have their own kind of investments within the game. So I think this is going to be, as of the price tonight, I think this is a great time to, what is it? Less than 2,000 now. It's $3,000. So 1 million tokens are $3,169. So as far as layer ones are concerned, I think this one will be very good when the gaming season comes. Avalanche, of course, are a great, massive, they do get their hype as and when we get Avalanche season. Tokenomics are excellent, but it's a large cap, right? So, again, depends on what you want, but there's just so many options, in my opinion, with better gains than avax. Avax is the same market cap as SUI with better tokenomics, basically. Trading volume $200 million. Again, I won't be putting money into a $6 billion, $5.7 billion market cap cryptocurrency, but it's good to see where it's trading at right now relative to the rest of the layer ones. $13. I mean, Avalanche was sitting around these areas in the bear market, so I guess you could argue, look, FTX night. Let's go back to FTX here. We had the pump. Sorry, let's go back here. So we did 100. What was it? I think it peaked at around 150, came down, and then of course bear market June 2022. It really capitulated there, and then you had the lows here October 2022. You had these drops. Massive drops, but you can see here price was around $16 at the bear market, and the lowest it got to was about $8. All right, well, let's keep it moving because we don't want to talk about that bad boy. Next is MONAD. I think MONAD will have a hype. MONAD does have questionable tokenomics, even though the community like it. I think they have obviously launched on Coinbase. They have a very decent team. They actually designed their tokenomics knowing how SUI came onto the market, which is quite refreshing. But tokenomics is a massive question mark for me. And people do like it and say that they're going to be locking it for a number of years. But that's the only risk right there. Now, ultimately, because it's not had a MONAD season, if this came down to 2.5, or if it comes back to seed rounds, which is actually below seed now, then I think this is a great time to take a position in this. I saw a video by Virtual Bacon who said this was around 0.25 seed or 0.24. So what you see right now is typically a month after launch, prices capitulate because Coinbase have penalized people. They've obviously penalized people for holding this. You don't get any allocations from Coinbase. We should see an announcement by Coinbase, which I'm anticipating will be very bullish on Monday. It's a look at these prices. You are now getting in at the right time. You didn't want to get this at 4 cents or 7 or 8 cents where we went to the first day. This is now the prices that you should be bidding for MONAD. And apart from the tokenomics, if they do what they said they're going to do, lock up the team tokens for 4 years, and there's a lot of money behind this, in my opinion. But these tokenomics here, look, they're always, circulating supply, total supply. I mean, that's just insane, right? Fully diluted, 2 billion, current market cap 250 million. But I did do a video comparing this to the launch of SUI, and I can see, honestly, striking similarities. Not by the way they launched, but with the low float, high FDV, and the fact that ultimately SUI did have a season. It really did take off. This is an excellent technology. It's just the fact that the risk right now is probably minimum because you are buying it below those early rounds, and very fast, EVM compatible. And I can see when big money comes back into the market, when this kind of liquidity returns that we're talking about, I can see this actually going up pretty fast. Ultimately, it's got the look and feel of SUI. So yeah, at the moment it is very risky, but with that risk, there's hardly any reward. And what you see in here, I'm not sure any of you have explored their ecosystem in terms of products. But I will do another video on MONAD. But right now, the risk is very minimum in my opinion. So they score very high on the potential hype. They will have questionable tokenomics, but from what I heard, tokenomics are decent. They'll probably list on Binance. That will give them a boost. They have a very good team. They know how to market. And that would be that. Next one is Axelar. Axelar will rely on a miracle. Now, the competition here from layer 0 and Wormhole is pretty strong. But currently, Axelar scores very low on hype. I don't think anyone outside of myself and a few others talk about Axelar. It has excellent tokenomics, but what you're relying on is a Zcash effect. You gotta have to sit tight. Tech is really, really good. It's on big exchanges, Coinbase backing, and the team is decent, but let's not give them until we see until we see some more crazy markets in there with really, really big, and they will go to the big channels for sure. Now, AXL looks like it's absolutely gone to its lowest price discovery since launch. Partially, this is to do with the fact that the tokenomics have actually improved, and it has an excellent tokenomics. Right now, it's almost fully diluted. So this was the problem last cycle for AXL. If you look at the 2022, came out at a really, really bad time here, right? And if you see from there, we went straight into a bear market. So apparently the early investors, in fact, the early investors have, or early round, I think it was the seed round, it was something like 90 cents to $1. So you are buying this at fractions of what they did. If it returns live, and I'm sure it will come back to live, I think this is another banger. I've been saying it now for a very, very long time. It's just the fact that as technology improves, so will cross-chain technology overall. But here you've got institutional adoption galore. You've got Circle, Ondo, whoever. They produce case studies. Their documentation is second to none. And I'm just expecting, if we get a utility run of crypto, I think this is going to be an absolute winner. But I do like the look of layer 0 as well, but this has better tokenomics. All right. When you look at their dApps, I think they've got over 90 different dApps of who's who in crypto. You know, they run Deutsche Bank's layer 1. Deutsche Bank's blockchain. The integration with Microsoft, MetaMask, whatever. Who else they've got? US government, every chain. So yeah, I think at some point we should see a run, but so far it has been a loser. We can't say based on the current performance it's going to do anything spectacular, but when the narrative comes, I think this will be a winner. And then the last but not least, ICP is got a large community. ICP has good tech, and ICP only relies on utility/narrative, in my opinion. And same as Monero. If you're buying Monero, you are buying absolute utility. But if you get kind of like, I think, next year we'll have layer 1s running instead of privacy. I think privacy will grow, but it has a risk. So there you have it, people. Apologies, I've been talking way too long. I'll come over to you guys right now. Absolute legends in the building. Bro said 50. Yeah, of course. What's good? Alaikum assalam, broski. How are you? Do you think Deep Book and Walrus... Guys, by the way, in the comments, let me know, each one of you, do let me know what layer one you're jumping on, right? What you hold, in terms of your layer one. Bro said, let's have a look at Deep Book. Now, Deep does have an impressive TVL, but what you would notice is the tokenomics here have never been my favorite. Going to keep it 100 here. 50% now, okay, largely the performance of this has been to do with unlocks. Having said that, it does carry a healthy, or did carry a massive TVL, which is now down to just 11 million. It will grow with SUI, right? Ultimately, it's going to be one of those ones that are key infrastructure. And I've seen, I've been to Mr. Lab spaces, and these guys have all of the connections. They are a critical infrastructure of the SUI blockchain. So around $100 million market cap, I think it's a decent time to take a position in something like this. Of course, the Deep Tokens utility is totally integrated into the SUI blockchain. So yeah, by getting into this now at this point, I think this goes to a couple of $1 billion minimum in market cap. So 10 billion max, initial circulating, 25 vesting supply is unlocked at Genesis. Tokens will be released over 7 years. So you've got to be in it to win it, for sure. And Walrus is the same in terms of tokenomics. However, this one is going to compete with some of the major deep-in projects, because a lot of the internal SUI ecosystem projects are building on Walrus. So enable data market. And don't forget, this runs on the Move programming language. Okay. So reliable, no downtime. And you've got Decrypt building on this. And you have other SUI projects on their ecosystem, right? And DeFi is meant to be pretty fast on SUI. So for that reason, I think Walrus is good. The only thing you've got to be careful with, like I said, is the tokenomics. Tokenomics don't really, 1.5 billion over 5 billion. Now, of course, I don't have an up-to-date vesting schedule here, but what you got to see is how they release that in 2026. And remember, guys, most of the teams have built on, have created these tokens with the bear market in mind in 2026. Honestly, I speak to so many project founders, and they're like, yo, we have unlocks in 2026. So just look at the vesting schedule, but I think they're both decent. Mr. Alexis in the building. Jenny said she sold her Chainlink for some Pepe, DCA into XLR. Pepe has the best tokenomics. Let's have a look at Pepe. I mean, Pepe's market cap, I've been in Pepe since around average 100 million, 140 million. I got some before that, but Pepe is going to 1.8 billion. So this is the lowest it's been for a while. Actually lower than April. I mean, trading volume, Pepe is just an Ethereum bet, in my opinion. ETH gets over $10,000, which I expect it will at some point this cycle with a pause. Bear market, that's going to be pretty short. But I think, Pepe, if you've been in Pepe, then of course it makes sense for me to get out of a $14 billion cryptocurrency like Chainlink and get it into something that will have hype and is smaller. I would even say you need to go and investigate, Jenny. You need to go and investigate Toshi. If the name of the game is multipliers, right? We want to talk about maximum gains, right? So there's another 10x below Pepe for you. And I think if you buy, so for Pepe to do 10x to where you're buying, fully diluted valuation has to be 18 billion, right? So for this to do the same, you're looking at $1.6 billion market cap. Which one is more? It just has to get to where Pepe is right now. I think you will print with this. Not financial advice, of course. If you're DCing into Pepe, I shouldn't be sending you distractions like this. This lovely cat, but this is the base mascot, and I think it will do very well. What's going on, Stephen? Good to see you. Arweave was on a grayscale interest. Oh, wow. Like Pendle, when I researched it. Yeah. I don't know why YouTubers don't shill it, because YouTubers are bullshit, to be honest. DCA into AR. Is that Mob Deep playing in the background? No, bro. I have no idea. It's just see what I've got going on here. Had no idea what I was playing. Yeah. It's just some decent playlist to keep you guys going. All right. So what else we're looking at? Let me hold the music for a minute. So in terms of like what's going on here, guys, it's let's have a look.
I have no higher priority than making America affordable again. That's what we're going to do. And again, they caused the high prices and we're bringing them down. It's a simple message. And we're bringing those prices down rapidly. Lower prices, bigger paychecks. You're getting lower prices, bigger paychecks. We're getting inflation. We're crushing it. I mean, the only thing that's really going up big, it's called the stock market and your 401ks.
That's President Trump in Pennsylvania this week, touting America's economic gains under his leadership. The president promising to keep lowering prices and inflation for the average American ahead of a challenging midterm election cycle.
So they were talking about today, they're basically saying Powell should step down. But Omar's posted what did you post, Omar? A NAS track. Oh, man. Thank you, bro. I'll definitely check it out. I'll definitely check it out, man. So the Fed's printer, there's a couple of things I wanted to share with you here.
Hello there. My name is Ollie. This is Economics Unlocked, and today we're going to take a super quick look at what happens when countries print new money. We've also got some bonus content at the end. Now, you might hear on the news in tough economic times that the US or the UK have added so many millions of new money into the economy. But how does this actually work? First up, can anyone do it? Well, in an economy with multiple banks, commercial banks can increase the money supply through loans. I'll be doing another video on that soon, but today we're just going to look at what happens with central banks. So in the US, that's the Federal Reserve. In the UK, that's the Bank of England. And for countries in the Euro, it's the European Central Bank. In each country, these are the only places that can create new money. And we'll get onto why they might do this in a minute. Right now, though, what actually happens to this money and who gets it? Well, firstly, it's rare that anything is actually printed. Most of the time, the money is just added to the central bank spreadsheets on a computer. But what happens to it? Well, it's all part of a process called quantitative easing, often called asset purchasing in the UK. What happens is the central bank uses the money it's just created to buy assets from large commercial banks. These are financial assets like bonds. What's a bond? Well, it's a sort of IOU from a company.
So what's happening, guys, above everything else we're seeing? So let's go to let me read a couple of more comments, because people really think that this is not only the bear market, but this is the end of whatever they're holding, and people are trying to get out of their current prices. Now, if you look at let's just refresh if you look at the stock market, if you look at Bitcoin right now, sitting at $90,000. You look at the dollar index, the dollar is not doing very well. That's usually a sign. And we have the cost of borrowing in terms of the US 10-year yield, that's actually just spiking. So we haven't seen the impacts, and we will not see the impacts of what they're doing right now until next year. Okay. And for that reason, I think everybody here should just lock in. Like, if you're going to sell some cryptocurrencies, ideally what you want to do is take advantage of any dead cat bounce, because I think next year we may open the year with a stock market slide a little bit, coming down by 10 to 15%. Everybody just panics, throws their toys out of the prams, and then the market's absolutely ripped. And that's always going to happen. It happens all the time. What else we're looking at? Let me see. It's really interesting that our weaves on there. I've done this one, this one. Yeah, it has the best exchanges. I think, I did say that Arweave is driven by the narrative, but it does have the team, the exchanges. It doesn't have the marketing because that's not their motto. But I think once the market realizes, or when the money comes in, I think it will go nuts. Like buying D-Bread, I know Near's at the bottom, 130-ish, already DCA. Yeah, Near is huge. Near is absolutely huge. I mean, that's why I added Near to the list. I hold and DCA. I love your conviction, by the way. I love your conviction. What did Cave say? Please mention. We got to talk about the moon. Moon landings. Yo, Cave, let me know if you're ready, because we will definitely go that side. The Clarity Act. Thank you very much, bro. This is absolutely huge. And the basically what's going on here, Jimmy? First of all, big up to you, brother. Hope you're well. Positive impact on the market. The world should be, the word is it should be passed by the end of Q1. Now, I had there are massive implications when it comes to the Clarity Act. And one of the things that's going to happen is there's a law that goes all the way back to 2008, 2007 financial crisis. And this particular law prohibited banks from basically going off and going outside of the system to basically go and, start causing another financial meltdown, to keep it simple. What's going to happen is stable coins will be clarified, and of course, DeFi will be protected. Now, that's absolutely huge. And there is also anti-CBDC. So it prohibits the Fed from, let me just bring up the Clarity Act. This is huge. Thank you for that, brother Jimmy. It is this thing. I mean, again, it's probably good to summarize this at some point, but this is going to be huge for crypto securities. It's going to redefine compliance, and big banks are actually noticing this already. Now, it does have anti-CBDC elements to it, which is positive for us, and it prohibits the Fed from issuing central bank notes or issuing central bank digital currency directly from the Fed. And in terms of the regulation, the Futures Trading Commodities Commission is a bit of a mouthful. Is going to regulate this. And this is going to give banks the ability to deploy stable coins. Now, what happens is when you deploy and create all these stable coins, I think utility crypto will benefit from that massively. Okay. And And again, cryptos on mature blockchains are commodities. That's the clarification, and they are not securities, aka Gary Gensler. And the SEC will only regulate cryptocurrencies that are securities rather than those they consider as commodities. So Ethereum, Solana, Bitcoin. And then, of course, if you build stuff on top of those, they are considered to be commodities and not securities. It also regulates the whole of the spot and cash crypto markets and exchanges. So we could see massive benefit here. Now, there is, of course, with everything, there's a risk, and the risk is not for, the risk will be measured in years, not in months or in a single bull cycle, in my opinion. Okay. Now, of course, the main focus here is for mature blockchains. So when you look at stuff like digital commodities, there's a section they call mature blockchain, and they make sure it's decentralized to a point where not a single entity owns about 20%, and that obviously forces crypto projects to be decentralized. So they are looking at specifically decentralized governance, and and they have to make, projects have to actually report that and make that visible to the authorities. What else does it do? So I think the biggest beneficiaries will be Kraken, Coinbase, and other US exchanges. And that's huge, right? And then for token issuers, this is something that we've never seen before. So token issuers can actually issue up to $75 million. Anything under that is going to be basically exempt, meaning that the projects don't need to report $1 million raise to do a project, where in the past they had to report it. That's why you had no crypto growth in the US. And then so that's gonna be one, regulatory clarity. Two, the CFTC will oversee the crypto side of things, and it's more crypto friendly. So there's no SEC involvement in that. DeFi will be protected. Large decentralized protocols will basically be favored. No CBDC, so blocks government digital dollar surveillance. Banks can participate. Now that's the biggest one for me. The banks can participate. It opens the door to traditional finance. So what we're seeing is a transformation of crypto going from the hands of degens into now also in massive banking institutions who have less knowledge than we do and will come for our utility coins, because that's the only thing you can do, right? Like, apart from building infrastructure, I think there's going to be more stable coins in circulations to buy some of the decent cryptocurrencies out there. So the biggest takeaway from the Clarity Act is it allows banks to participate and opens the door for institutional, traditional finance. That's going to be big. And then there's going to be institutional confidence. We are seeing that. So in terms of timelines, we're probably looking at, like Jimmy said, potential signing into law Q1. All right. Clear functional requirements for digital assets. So that's going to be huge. I think this is going to be, that's why I think it will coincide with a massive, massive rally in the markets sometime in Q1, Q2 next year. So that's the Clarity Act. Thank you, Brother Jimmy, for covering that. 3i Atlas. You guys want to do that, yeah? DXB being serious tonight. Oh, Jenny, I had to be. I had to be because it's always gonna be oh, that's fun. Is this changing? Let's see. Yeah, it is. Yeah, 3i Atlas. Man, that's the rabbit hole, right? Chainlink at $11 to $12 is a heck of a buy for a Link. Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, Link is one of those ones that I trade, and I absolutely think it could go to $30 pretty quickly. Check out, what's this, bro? Scam coin. Yo, Jake's talking about. Is it on? So it's like useless coin, fart coin, scam coin. Oh, damn. Yo, Jake is right. $1 million market cap on Solana. So are they going to pick this up? Because this would be... This has a ring to it. Appreciate that, bro. Thanks for putting me on. Look, guys, you know, the meme casino's out there to, you know, again, I just have a feeling, man, I need to do a bit more research. But do let me know, Jake, if you've got more intel regarding the paths. Because normally, if it came out of bonk, then I'll take it seriously. Diversified heavily. 100% all in. Now, that is not healthy. But yeah, we will check it out. Scam coin. It's insane, man. Let's have a look at the X. You know what? Let's have fun, man. Like Jenny said, let's have a bit of fun. Dude, scam coin. What if they scam us? I'm trying to buy utility right now, bro. You got me you got me bugging here. Scam coin. What an absolute legend. Yeah, we'll check out. Definitely, we'll check it out, man. I got CAS at 1 cent, and so far has been stacking SEI and a bit of fantastic stuff, bit of Bluefin. I think Bluefin's going to run. Oh, Lord, Cave is not having it. No man ever stepped into the moon. I've actually got, since we all went bit of conspiracy. God bless you too, Alexis. Hope you're well, bro. Says bless you. I always bless you, brother. What a legend. Yeah, Cave's in Newt. Let's have a look at Newt. Cave's our gem hunter, man. $3 million market cap, but a crazy volume. Am I reading this right? No. Yeah. Volume to market cap is friggin' nuts. Damn, Cave. What kind of coin is this? Yeah, I'm seeing that right. That is. You see what we have in our Discord, man. Yeah, 100%, Jenny. I think, base is going to take off. And we just, like I said, it's all about the dynamics. Let's get some bangers in there. Smash a like, guys. Please give me 100 likes for once. I've never walked away with 100 likes, even if you tap it more than one time. We're going to say someone else's portfolio. Have you seen Lord of the Rings? Yes. Yeah, man. It is mad. It is mad. Yeah, KASPA is mental, man. KASPA is mental. KASPA is mental. But to be fair, like since I got into it, I haven't really gone below my average, which is a miracle. Check out, bro said, have a look at Bearco. 100% up. Man, this is low cap of the low cap. Pretty good chart. Very few. Plan. Look, I love their roadmap. Plan to $1 billion. Boom. What's the utility here? AI Web3 Studio powered by Founders OS Agent. Yeah, good shout, bro. I'm sure you probably dropped this into the Discord. See if I can get the contract. Let's have a look for you, bro, or for us. So good old Nansen. Nansen's becoming an amazing tool. They just integrated Privy, which is one of the best fintech wallet management companies in the world. The only thing is, Cave, let's go to the lower time frames here. Overview chart is looking all right. How are we for holders? Holder balance going up as the price goes up. We have smart money in there to the tune of 1.9 million tokens, which is actually up massively, right? Top 100 wallets hold 60%. 75% of the supply held by the top 100. It's kind of centralized, but 26 is not the worst I've seen. But the holder count is only 453. So it's going to be very, very risky. But yeah, so far, you got smart money traders. You got well money in here as well. Pretty much November 24th was their big accumulation. Yeah, not bad at all, bro. They could just do with more holder count. Let's have a look at the P&L table here. So P&L table here, 7K. Music's not bad tonight. Net flow, yeah, not bad at all, bro. I can't see any kind of like funny business going on Nansen. We haven't seen any archetype activities on this coin, and the chart steadily rising to the right. The only thing I have concern about is just absolutely low cap degen. And you still have some snipers in there. Early snipers. Let's have a look. First buyers transferred out. So 94% of all snipers have transferred out, which means they're going to hold. Only called it that is want us to believe that they actually plan to. Yeah, they ain't paying shit back, bro. Yeah, Cave, man. Cave is on fire, bro. I think you mentioned in the Discord that BTC's 1 billion vote is a given. Yeah, I think look, I attended the Bitcoin MENA conference this week. And, you know, when you get behind the scenes, you start to see really what's involved in Bitcoin. And I wasn't looking for a cycle trigger as such, but what I saw was the level in which, say, for example, Michael Saylor is moving into this region, because in this region, obviously, we have family offices that are as powerful and as wealthy as nation states, right? And if you look at what they are setting out to do with Bitcoin, and again, you know, I don't believe now, after seeing what I saw the other day or last week, I don't think MicroStrategy goes under. And or strategy, the Bitcoin side, I don't think they get forced out or whatever. I think he's in it to make history. I don't think he's in it for the money. Of course, he understands and sees, you know, there's that New York comparison that he makes into real estate, right? About 100 years ago. So he's got like a long-term view, but I think the 5 to 10 year Bitcoin $1 million prediction is pretty conservative, in my opinion. I think it'd be about, in fact, it could even be more, but I would expect to see within 2 to 3 cycles, Bitcoin reaching that milestone for sure. It's just because, you know, you've got crazy amount of money. You've got nation states now competing for Bitcoin mining and treasuries and holding Bitcoin. You've got Saylor now holding 660,000 Bitcoin. I think it's inevitable, especially when you look at the inflation over time with fiat money. Yeah, he delayed it. I think he was looking for can be involved in the crypto business. That's insane, bro. That's insane. Ripple's a bank soon. Yeah, I saw the announcement. I saw a couple of big announcements this week. I saw Solana Ripple, and also the ISO 20022. I think that's pretty imminent as well. That hype hasn't really taken off at all. I think, look, Ripple now acting as a bank, it's inevitable. Now, the price of XRP, of course, is something else, because the community thinks it's going to $10,000. And I'd say if that's how people are perceiving XRP, they're better off buying Bitenso TAO, to be honest. But, you know, this is, again, RippleNet payment system. They're already talking about how this could actually replace, you know, some banks or add to the value of banks. It's insane. But XRP price more than $10 is not imaginable to me. If sells BTC, yeah, I think that, you know, the more I look into that situation, I think it's been overblown, in my opinion. Even if they get delisted, I don't think it makes any difference to their overall outlook. I think they are in the Bitcoin space, and I think the stock is just, again, that's just strategy doing what it has to do there. But I don't think it will impact them massively. Not as much as people are making out to be the main kind of FUD. Aerodrome Finance, Aero. Now, the thing about Aerodrome, it has lost some steam in terms of it was the kind of base darling, right? And people actually think now, just because base is announcing its own token. I'm seeing a lot of cryptocurrencies potentially. I mean, I saw Epic Chain coming close to this wick, or the manipulation wick that we had. But Aerodrome Finance, man, I think it will do very well. I'm waiting to see what Base announces on Monday, because we've got this massive event for Base on Monday. And is anyone here holding Velodrome? Because that's been another, that's the technology Aerodrome is on. But we are seeing prices back to $500 million market cap with an equal amount of TVL, almost. The chart obviously does pump. If you look at this, we've had we've already had two massive rallies this year. I mean, since 2024. We did have another rally here in August. So, best believe when the market goes, this thing will run. In terms of any new announcements, let me see if this is a lot of the success here will be down to how Base manages their token launch. I think if they do it too soon, you could think, some people may think that obviously now Base token could be a better option. But that's just a speculation for my part. I think the buybacks here are quite significant. And that's the team saying, look, we want to stop any crazy slides here. But that's a decent buyback. And it's still going to be the Base central liquidity hub for Base. And Base to be a bridge, not an island, blah, blah, blah. I think Aerodrome will do absolutely fine, considering the volumes that it attracts on the Base blockchain. But for now, in terms of the chart, I'd still wait for prices to potentially hit below 50 cents the last time. We've got a key level here at 48 cents. And the last time it broke that, it kind of stuck to these, it came slightly under 30 cents, but that was back in April. Check out Froge for a good meme. Froge. Again, $3 million market cap, meme coin, a frog. Pepe's. Let's have a look. Do they have any exchanges here? Yeah, 2 exchanges. Froge, OpenAI's unofficial mascot. $690 trillion. So it does have that retail hype, because some people, believe it or not, with tokenomics like that, they think it'll get to $1. But this had a massive, January last year, it did It did really, really well. Had another spike here. Volume just under 1 million. Let's just give them a follow. Any news on OpenAI? I think it goes. Zora, actual Zora. I mean, I don't know if that's the one you mean, but there's only one Zora that I know. And as part of my research today, or the other day that I did a video about, Zora is actually one of the best performing projects in the last 12 months. Should have taken a mini award for how it handled 2020, 25, because it's been a shit year so far in crypto. But this is a critical infrastructure on the base blockchain. And in my opinion, I see a run like Virtual's protocol when the market stabilizes. Nothing more, nothing less. I think, look, Toshi, Zora, Virtuals, these will absolutely run, in my opinion. This is incredible. I mean, the fact that it went from 80% of a penny just in July, but it went to 12 cents. You know, this is it has a TVL. It's gonna get bigger. In terms of tokenomics, 4.4 billion in circulation. So, you know, and then outstanding supply here, total supply 10 billion. So it's still got tokens to come out, but a lot of those tokens are for rewards, amongst other things. Very good question, Alexis. Main layer ones that I have in that conversation, sorry, I am a bit behind on. Yeah, SUI, KASPA, I own a 10 of KASPA. So the ones that I own here, I own TAO for AI, KASPA as my POW coin, actually my main proof of work coin. And then proof of stake, I've got SUI and SEI. And deep in layer one, I've gone with Arweave, and then of course, so the main layer ones in terms of the, according to the dollar value in my portfolio, number one is KASPA, number two is SUI, number three is TAO, number four is Arweave, number five is SEI, and number six is Axelar. So that's how I'm positioned. And then of course, after that, I've got Beam. So I don't hold the rest. I don't hold NEAR, I trade NEAR. I trade Link, you know, I trade Aptos. And I'm building a very, very small bag. I mean, nothing to talk about yet, but I have a very, very small bag of MONAD. MONAD will be Asta or Hyperliquid. I'd probably say at the direct comparison, probably Asta at this point. Not because of the tech. I think Hyperliquid is miles better, the original, but I think CC will absolutely go crazy on it. Are there any benefits of going to crypto conferences? If I'm 100%, bro, 100%. In fact, I met so many like normal investors. Why? Because you gain the knowledge firsthand. You actually see, you know, the industry you're invested in at firsthand. You know, you get to talk to project teams. You get to ask tough questions. Yeah, 100%. I still like Epic Chain. In fact, I was doing some technical analysis on it. And see, I'll be honest with you. I'm not feeling the team at this moment in time. I was looking at Epic, and what I've seen is it's the only crypto that I can see. If you look at this, if we take this work on January the 10th, right? It's got basically, it's almost filling the January 10th low. Now it's still 50% above it. But this is what I had in mind yesterday. I forgot to post this in the Discord. But if you look at this, I said we may bounce from here or test this kind of, this descending channel here. And it's actually kind of almost filling this. Now, what I don't like about it is the team. The team are not consistent in their engagement, in my opinion. A lot of that is to do with the fact that they're on Binance. Projects become really complacent, especially smaller projects once they're. But from here, it should absolutely rocket, especially if the XRP narrative takes off. Merlin chain, I did actually got in, we all got into Merlin chain, or I think some of us got into it on Merl. Now, BTC layer 2s, this has been the strongest performance from any of the BTC related L2s, and they've got a massive TBL. It's either this or stacks, right? 481 million. Now, overall, at the moment, I'm not incredibly bullish on the BTC layer 2s, but the TBL here is huge. And this year, it was one of the best performers. It did something like 2.5x from its lows. And if the narrative comes, then I think it will do well. It is a big project. I think there was criticisms at launch, but overall, as a layer 2 solution for Bitcoin, it's bound to be. And one thing that I've noticed at the conference was a lot of competition for Bitcoin staking, because it was the Bitcoin conference. So you had a lot of companies now offering Bitcoin custody. So yeah, when the narrative is right, I think it will do very well. It has proven beyond reasonable doubt that it does absolutely pump when the timing is right. Actually, it's been pumping consistently. So stake L 45%. Let's see what Stacks is doing. Yeah, so it's literally, right? It's actually offering a massive competition to Stacks. Really fallen off, and they have been taking market share. Now, of course, Stacks is the OG BTC layer 2, but these are the only two Bitcoin layer 2s that I would consider seriously. And believe me, when you talk to people that are specifically only in Bitcoin, like the Bitcoin whales, they do take the layer 2 Bitcoin space seriously, because some of them need to make use their BTCs, kind of like in a liquid staking format on Ethereum. Soldex, yeah, it's pumped. Oh, is that the wrong one? Oh, have I heard of MROX? No, bro. Thing is, I can't copy that. Damn, bro. I'll check that out. I talked about Zora like a year ago. No worries, no worries. Guys, what time is it, man? Damn. It's 4 in the morning. And we haven't even done our favorite topic at all. Before I sign off, I need to talk to Cave about this. So obviously we go to our list of, you know, they call it, you know what they call it? You know what? Let me do the top 10. Access has been denied. Let's have a look. So we've always looked at the top 10 we've always looked at the top 10. So Cave. Right. Conspiracy number 1, blaming 5G. Okay. So 5G basically caused coronavirus. Bill Gates is another one. Chinese lab. I mean, listen, this is probably the one. This is probably the one. You know, 3 in 10 Americans believe COVID-19 was made in a lab, either intentionally or accidentally. All right. 23% believe it was developed intentionally. 6% believe it was an accident. It was imported by the US military into China. I mean, insane, man. We should do one along with the our favorite one, actually. Oh, Merry Christmas, everyone. Conspiracies are coming out. So if Cave, if you can prove this one, because obviously this is the number one. This is the number one conspiracy theory trending in the community. It's based around the American flag on the moon and people saying that we never went there. Investor Scott said, we live in a dome. For sure, brother. You know what, to be honest with you, the mad one is for me, the mad one is not even the moon. I think this is the main one, man. I was there, you know, I was around. 9/11, man. 9/11 was the one that within my lifetime, you know, I saw. Yeah, when you read some of these documents, it's absolutely insane. So the Apollo mission, you know, it's low Earth orbit, right? So if I can actually stick up for these guys, oh man, damn. All I can say is dead and suffering were for real. Absolutely. I mean, that was a horrible time. That was absolutely insane. But I think tell you guys a little story, right? So during 9/11, it's going to give away my age, but it's meant to be my first year at university. And my mom was like, yo, let me go and what do you want? So I was like, I want a laptop. Right? Tuesday morning. Beautiful sunny day. I was like, Mom, but get me a laptop and you know, and I want a new TV. And I remember, man, we went to, for those of you from the UK, you would remember a place called Dixon's on the High Street. So now I'm in Dixon's, right? And you've got the big old Sony, Sanyo. I think the other one was like a Japanese brand called Aiwa. I can't say it. But anyway, you've got big, massive TVs on the wall. So I go in with my mom and I'm seeing planes coming in. And as the plane hits the building, I'm using the flames as a color, kind of like color check. So I'm like, this one's got good black levels. I like the contrast ratio on that. That movie is insane. What movie is this? So we didn't know. We were like, because there's no audio, right? You just see the news and whatever. I thought it was a movie. And then we went to a friend's house and they told us, yo, the Twin Towers are down. I'm like, what? I just bought a TV and a laptop, man. I'm looking forward to going to uni. What's going on? Anyway, so that was, for me, it was just hard to believe that these things can happen through an airport. The other one is this one right here. And I do believe, after doing some extra research, I think they have been to the moon. It's almost inconceivable. And the reasons why people say, oh, they've not gone back to the moon. Man, the Cold War was a different time, right? The Cold War was a race. The Soviets were leading it. I mean, for those of you who don't actually know, Soviet ingenuity and space wins. They literally won the space race, in my opinion. I think in the end, of course, the Americans came back to it, but earlier on, they went to Venus. They landed a probe on Venus. What I have a problem with is the fact that we haven't been back to the moon for such a long time. And I think that is, ultimately, we will see the next time humans walk on another, terrestrial body out there somewhere in the solar system. But going to Mars is out of the question, in my opinion. Whoever's going to send humans to Mars is absolutely. Whoever is looking to take humans to Mars is, I don't know, like, you need to have, count me out, basically. The radiation will absolutely kill us on the way, 6 months. And imagine, trying to call your loved ones. Return call is 42 minutes. It takes 22 minutes for you to send a text message to your loved ones living on Mars. It's just BS, man. Yeah, I think so as well. Apparently you're not allowed to talk about it. Officially, aliens are real. I believe that. I absolutely believe that. Listen, guys, it's 4 a.m, 7 o'clock in the dark. I need to get my drops up. Anyway, I hope you liked today's show, guys. I think we had a fantastic live. Some of the legends have been here. And officially, I'm an alien right now in the UAE, 4 a.m. Better get some rest. Love you loads. It's been a great live stream. Share the thing, like the thing, all of that. Subscribe to the thing. And God bless you all. I'll see you on the next one. Good night, guys. Thank you very much.